Good evening. I am going to share some things I've learned about Word and Excel. In court, I've always used a document similar to this that I created in Word, and then I just print it out, and I have use of it in court. And this is for me to keep track of the exhibits that are admitted and marked, etc., offered in court. And as you can see here, it's fairly straightforward, fairly simple. And if you scroll down, you'll see that I've got about 34 exhibits on one page. The problem with this for me is when I have a case that has more than 34 exhibits. Now, I do have another form that has more exhibits on it. It's a exhibit list long, and I can open up that one, and you can see that it goes into the next page, and it's down to the third page and the fourth page, up to 139 exhibits. But sometimes I'll have a case where it's even more than that, and if I wanted to make this work for me, I would have to add more columns and go in here and type in 140, 140, 141, 141, etc., etc. in Word. So I thought it would be kind of nice if I was able to do something similar to that in another format. And so what I have done is I thought, well, I'll create a list in Excel, and this is kind of what I came up with initially. It's just a basic a blank document that Excel kind of defaults to initially, and then you can add stuff to it. So I was thinking, okay, I've got some columns here to work with, and I've got some numbers here on the left hand side, and I thought, well, I'll change the A to be state, B to be marked, C to be offered, and D to be admitted. But that doesn't really work for me either, because I didn't have anything else on there, and I'd like to have maybe a caption or something like that. So, I would have to go in here and insert text, header, footer. And so I did that, and I created another document, and I will open up that document now, which is something that looks similar to this one. You can see that I've got my header and footer on there. I've got it set up nicely so that you can see I can type in some information here, I can put the cause number in here, and I can put the defendant over here. This is kind of fluid in the fact that I can go up here and actually type in stuff if I want to, or I could print it out and do it in pen and then come back and maybe fix it later. And when I first had it set up, I had it a little bit differently with more of the look of the previous document I showed, with the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, everything kind of on the same page. And so I decided that I could spread some things out. When I made my header, it kind of bled over into the 1, 2, 3 section, and I was missing 1, 2, and 3, and then I realized I could go over here, and you can see how the margin changes. I can drag up or down. If you can't see that, let me put it right here where my mouse is on the left side. There's a place to drag up or down, so I was able to drag down the 1, 2, 3, etc., and get it down below where my header was, and that was able to expose these columns for me. And then what I did was, on the other document, remember, I tried to make the A, B state, and then the B was marked, C was offered, and that wouldn't show up here. It only showed up over here, which wasn't going to work for me. And the reason I was doing that was because I was concerned about this 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. being Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2, and then I realized that that has no bearing on how I am able to manipulate these columns. So what I did was I modified column A number 1 to be PLF for plaintiff, or I could call it state if I wanted to. I can call it M for marked, O for offered, and A for admitted. Then I actually put a place in here for fun for description if I want to describe it. What would be nice about this is when I need to turn the exhibits in to the clerk's office, I'll have a little bit nicer document, and if I need to modify it a little bit more, I'm going to, but this is kind of a start for now. Now the nice thing about this is even though we're in column 2 here, it doesn't matter because I can still put number 1 right here into this column. So if I type in number 1, you can see that that's what I have done. Let me drop down some things here to maybe give us a little bit better understanding of what is going on here. I modified some of these columns with the ability to where I would want to center the number or make it be left margin or right indent, that kind of thing, so that they come up in the position that I want them to come up in. And that's going to be up here when you're setting up your document initially. To do that, you will you'll have the drop downs to where you can give the different settings the way you want the columns to work for you. But what's nice about Excel here is that you're able to go here and you can see I've got these set up the way I want them when I had the view on. You can see I've got them centered or not centered. Here's your options right here. So when I have plaintiff 1 or state 1, I'm okay there. I can go to the next line. Even though it says 3, I can put number 2 in here. Now here's where it gets kind of fun. This document has no numbering yet. There's nothing but 1 and 2. But because I have started the sequence here, I'm going to go to the 1. I'm going to left click and drag down to the 2. Now something is probably going to jump out here at you, a little quick analysis. But if you move the mouse to the lower right corner of this window, you'll see it looks like a medical plus sign right now, but if you go down to that little bitty area right there and it turns to a black, kind of a black plus, you can click now and drag down your window, and let's just go right here. And what happens is this column fills in up to number 10. So if I know ahead of time that the attorneys are going to have a lot of exhibits, or if I can ask them, you get an idea from the attorneys, or they may say, hey, Mr. Reporter, Miss Reporter, I need a lot of exhibit stickers. Go ahead and you can go ahead at any point here and say that you realize you're going to have more than 10 exhibits. You can go here, drag down to get 2 columns, turn it to a little black plus sign, and then drag down some more, and it will autofill the windows below. Now over here, if you want to keep track of marked, you can do that. If not, no big deal. I made them just for fun here to show the neat thing about this. I can put an X in here, and I can put an X in here, and then by doing that, either of the windows, if you look over here, it changes that to a black plus. I can drag those down as those exhibits are admitted, and it autofills the column for me. I can go to the offered. I can do the same thing. Make it turn to a little black plus. I can drag it down, and it autofills the column. Now if you go along and you see that you're going to have more exhibits, you just go here, grab two of them on the number side and drag down, and it autofills some more. So you see how this document becomes very fluid, and it's not limited by just one page. You can go to the next page, and you can continue to add numbers on the left, and also you can just continue to drag down your X. I haven't tried this yet, but I'm going to try a little experiment here and see if I can drag perhaps both columns down on the X side, and I can. So you can see there that I'm able to drag two columns of the offered and admitted and bring those down at the same time. If you had all three of them with X's in them, you'd be able to do the same thing. So this kind of gives me a little more power in the ability to have a fluid document and not be limited like I was with this exhibit document here, because it only goes to page or exhibit 34, and I can't really quickly modify this. This was nice to use to print out, and I wanted something a little bit more, so I was able to take a Excel spreadsheet, make it be live, so to speak, and then work with the columns that are in Excel. I hope that helps give you some ideas on what you could do with Excel. I didn't have to do any coding in here or any formulating to tell it do this or this. I just I knew that I could put 1 and 2 in here and then drag down, and the same thing for these other columns. So you can see that I have a nice fluid description here. I believe I can do the same thing on the column for description by typing in like the word photo. If there were a bunch of photos, I think I can drag this down and it will fill in photo for me. So you have a lot of nice features there within the Excel spreadsheet, and you can really have a lot of power with that. What I plan on doing is putting it on a separate laptop so that I'm able to have it there next to me close by, and I can quickly fill in this stuff instead of having to turn back and forth and pick up a pen, and we'll see how it goes. Now I'm going to click out of here. I'm not going to save it because I am good to go with that document. You will also notice I have a Defendant Exhibit, which is going to look the same way. It's the same document except it's got Defendant here. And so I've got two different forms I can use. Now if you wanted to, you could forego the description here in this section. You could drag this E back over, and you could have it say perhaps over here DEFT and state or plaintiff on this side, and have 4 more columns like this over here in this area, and have it in one document if you did want to put a description in with it. I like having the description because, like I said, I may want to turn these into the clerk's office or have the ability to do that, and hopefully it will look a little bit cleaner. So that is one option with the Excel spreadsheet. Now I want to show you something else I've done. I have a witness list that I created in Word. Now this is not necessarily one that needs to be as fluid, but I'm going to make one anyway at some point that's going to do the same thing in Excel. But I want to show you what I was doing a couple of days ago. I have a page that I created, and I could go in here in Word and fill it out, but I thought, well, I'll see if I can maybe do some work with it in PDF. So what I did was I exported this out to a PDF document under File, Export, and I printed it into a PDF format. And I made it look like this. which would be the new witness PDF instead of the Word document. And that came up like this. Now this is real pretty and everything, but I still can't type into this window unless I have the Adobe Pro or the Adobe software or some document that lets me kind of go in here and edit it. So what I did from this point was I launched the Adobe program. Adobe Acrobat 10 is what I have. And I created a PDF form or online form. And when I did that, it gave me this document, which is now fill in the blank. So I can go here and I can type in, I can type into this document and fill in the information as needed. Jump down to the next window, and then I can go here to my witnesses and just you can see here I can click into the window and fill out what I need to fill out here as I go down through this PDF document. What I'm able to do here is, again, it's quicker than the Word document because the Word document doesn't allow me to necessarily jump to the different windows like PDF does. So you can see here that got some good things working here. I'm probably going to, like I said, convert this into more of an Excel format, and I'll be able to have a column and a B column and drop in some numbers and the like, so that I can have a fluid document that if I get to the point of more than 20 witnesses, I'll be able to just keep going and not be stuck with only 20 on this document and have to scramble or make more pages. I just like to have the ability for it to be fluid so that I can quickly fill in the information as opposed to worrying about not having enough space. And sure, I could do it if I had a big trial, knowing ahead of time I could make the document, but why not have a document that's live, that is able to be manipulated on the fly in real time as you go along? And that's what I chose to do, so that I could make it just a little bit easier for me in court. I know it's a long video. I hope it made some sense and helped. And with that, I will not save this document, and I will close out this session. Thank you.